let me bring in our panel tonight on this. Frank Morano, a radio talk show host. Jessica Proud, a Republican strategist and vice president at NLO Strategies. And Brad Gerstman, a political consultant. So nice to see everybody tonight.
You too, Don. It's good to see you in that chair.
Well, thank you, Frank. It's good to be back here. And so let's get right to this, and I'll start with you, Jessica, tonight. You're the Republican at the table, the official Republican. We were just here on Friday. None of us predicted Paul Ryan.
Correct.
Did this surprise you?
It did surprise me. But I think it's a very bold choice, but it's also a very meaningful one. Romney went all in with Ryan, and they're going to put forth a very clear, ideas-based campaign about how they see the direction of the country going and what they want to do to fix it. So I think it was a great move by Romney, and it's going to take away from a lot of the minuscule attacks that the Obama campaign has been trying to push forward, and it's going to be a real ideas-based campaign about the issues.
Brad, would you agree?
Yeah, I think it was a very good decision by Romney and his advisors. I think, again, it brings it more to a substantive debate. I think when we're speaking about the Republicans and where the base wants the Republican Party to move, it's really to a extremely fiscally responsible, I would say more austerity-based budget, and that's what Ryan proposes. From the Democratic side, though, I think it really does show, and Obama and his team will make it very clear that there's two sides to this. One is austerity-based budget, one that where the middle and lower classes will be hurt just immeasurably, and then from their side will be that look, we're going to have a more fair budget. We're going to ask more of those who can afford it. And so really the lines are drawn right now, and it's going to be where do you fall? I don't think there's any middle of the road here anymore.
Frank Morano.
I agree in part with what each Jessica and Brad said. I think it's a very high-risk, high-reward type of pick for Romney. I think it makes it very difficult for him to win a state like Florida with so many senior citizens, just because Ryan was the author of The Path to Prosperity, which the Wall Street Journal said would end Medicare as we know it, and which President Obama and the Democrats have repeated 9,000 times since the Journal said that. And just because of that, I think it makes it a little bit more difficult to sell Ryan to seniors. That being said, he definitely pleases the base, and that means those folks are not going to sit home, those Santorum voters, those Gingrich voters, like they might have if Romney picked somebody like a Tim Pawlenty. Also, because he's so appealed to fiscal conservatives over the years, it's going to be great for donations. Also, Obama's signature achievement so far, National Romney Care or Obamacare, Romney's not the best spokesman against it because he did the same thing in Massachusetts. Paul Ryan can attack National Romney Care on a whole different level than from what Romney can. So I think it's kind of a mixed bag. Certainly he puts Wisconsin in play, which was probably leaning towards Obama. Very popular in Wisconsin. He's young, he's attractive, he's good looking, and he's smart. You're not going to have any Sarah Palin moments where he can't name a Supreme Court justice. He's not going to have any Dan Quayle moments. In fact, that's what his business card says. I know how to spell potatoes.
Right.
Frank, I actually have to disagree with you, though. I think it's way too soon to be taking seniors in Florida off the table. If you look at the polls since the announcement, and actually the polling done on him prior to his selection, he has a 30% favorability among seniors, and only 16% had a very negative view of him. So I think when the ideas are articulated clearly, Obama is the only one that's cut from Medicare currently. They've cut $740 billion from the Medicare program. The Ryan plan doesn't seek to change Medicare for another.
For anyone over 55. But if you're 54, and you want Medicare at its current levels,
the program's going to be bankrupt by then anyway. So
you're absolutely right. Then I would ask, if I were the Democrats, why did Paul Ryan vote to add the prescription drug benefit in Medicare Part D to Medicare? Why did he do that?
I think what I agree with you, Frank. I think that the senior citizens will flock to Obama and Biden, but yeah, I think the real question is going to be the independents in this race, and what did this vice presidential choice do for the independents? And this is what I'm getting back. This is the feedback that I'm receiving, is that right now there are so many Democrats. I shouldn't say so many, but there are a lot of Democrats who are not sure. They don't feel as comfortable with Obama as they did the first time around. And they've become more fiscally conservative. And what I think is going to happen, I do think some of those independent Democrats or the blue dog Democrats will move to the Mitt Romney side of the ledger, because those blue dog Democrats believe in the fiscal responsibility. And again, Ryan, whether you like it or not, that's what this man stands for. That's his signature issue.
Okay. That is interesting.
Social issues we got to talk about.
I'm an independent, and I think that you're right. A lot of Democrats, independents, and Republicans will respond to a fiscally conservative guy. But here's a guy who, even though he was on the Simpson-Bowles Commission, which Chris Christie was going all over the country saying was such a great first step, voted against the Simpson-Bowles plan, wasn't for the Gang of Six plan, voted for TARP, voted for the auto bailouts, voted for continuing the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan indefinitely, all while cutting taxes. So what's fiscally conservative about that?
Okay, hold your thoughts for just 1 second. We are going to take a quick break, but when we return, they have already alluded to